The Dow Jones higher by a little over 0.2%. You are listening and watching Bloomberg Business Week, and this is Bloomberg. New coverage from the world of politics and the world of business on Bloomberg Balance of Power. Tune in for Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lyons tonight at 5 p.m. Wall Street time on Bloomberg Radio and television.
Now, your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
Mostly cloudy for tonight, kind of muggy as well. Low temperature 65 to 70 with a few scattered showers and thunder showers around. So continue into Thursday, occasional showers. High temperatures near or just a bit over 80. Evening showers then tomorrow night to be followed by some spot showers Friday and Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, both days will be partly sunny and mostly in the 70s to near 80s. This is Gary Best with your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
Get Bloomberg Business Week and all of your favorite Bloomberg radio shows in one place inside your car.
The new Bloomberg Business app, now featuring Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Hear audio versions of your favorite Bloomberg stories, access podcasts on demand, and get the latest news all at the click of a button.
It's free and easy to use. Just download the Bloomberg Business app on your smartphone and connect your phone to your car.
The Bloomberg Business app now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto features.
Download it free in the Apple App Store or on Google Play.
Discover the future of trading with IBKR Desktop, Interactive Broker's next-generation trading platform. Built from the ground up, IBKR Desktop combines our powerful features with a unique set of groundbreaking tools in a streamlined, intuitive interface. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, IBKR Desktop redefines what you can expect from a trading platform. Experience the future of trading today. Download IBKR Desktop at ibkr.com/desktop.
Peyton, did you know Nationwide helps financial professionals with timely insights, showing clients how market volatility may impact their financial plans?
I mean, everyone knows that, Brad.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio, copyright 2023.
Why just listen to Bloomberg Surveillance when you can also watch us live on YouTube? I'm Lisa Mateo.
And I'm Tom Keene. Join us weekday mornings along with Paul Sweeney and Michael Barr starting at 7 a.m.
Head to the Bloomberg podcast page on YouTube to hear and see the smartest voices on global markets and investment.
Make Bloomberg Surveillance an essential part of your morning routine weekdays from 7 to 10.
Visit the Bloomberg podcast page on YouTube and click on the live feed to join us today. Market disruption has accelerated the need for increased efficiency and scale in the asset management industry. Do you have the right technology to propel your firm's growth? Bloomberg Buy-Side Solutions are engineered to deliver a seamless enterprise experience so you can gain a competitive edge. Data, analytics, trading, risk, operations, connected. The buy-side from every side. Visit Bloomberg.com/buy-side.
Head to Citi Field when the Mets take on the Miami Marlins, Tuesday, June 11th through Thursday, June 13th. The homestand continues with a series against the San Diego Padres, Friday, June 14th through Sunday, June 16th. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets.
Coming up next, we continue our conversation with Marcus Shaw, President and CEO over at Alt Finance, a $90 million 10-year effort to reduce the underrepresentation of people of color in private equity. That's next on Business Week.
It's 4:21 on Wall Street. We do check markets all day long here at Bloomberg. Yoga wear maker Lululemon Athletica raised its profit outlook for the full year while also beating market expectations for earnings in the first quarter. We've got Lululemon up now after hours by 12.4%. Also reporting after the close of trading, Victoria's Secret after an initial move higher. Right now we have got Victoria's Secret trading lower. Shares are down now. Shares unchanged right now after hours. It did report adjusted EPS for the first quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. Records on Wall Street today. The Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ all advancing. S&P, NASDAQ both climbing to records. S&P up 62, a gain of 1.2%. NASDAQ up 330, also up by 2% today, a record there. Dow Industrials up 96, up by just about 0.3%. 10-year, 4.28% with a 2-year yielding 4.72%. Gold up 1.1%, 23.53 the ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude oil up by 1.2%, 74.15 a barrel. Again, recapping records today, 25th of the year for the S&P, up 62, up 1.2%. I'm Charlie Pelleton. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
Thank you so much for that update, Charlie. Do appreciate it. Let's get right back to Marcus Shaw, President and CEO over at Alt Finance. They've got a $90 million 10-year effort to reduce the underrepresentation of people of color in a private equity. Marcus, I want to talk about your background and then how it plays into what you're doing at Alt Finance.
Yep.
We were just talking, you have a dual degree from Georgia Tech, but also an HBCU, Morehouse.
Yes.
In electrical engineering.
Yep.
And
Mathematics.
And then you went off and got an MBA over at Duke.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about HBCUs and why you're focused on HBCUs as the pipeline for Alt Finance.
So HBCUs are an important part of the fabric of this country. They have produced leaders in this country for the past 150 years. And I mean, when you're talking about diversity and bringing talent about, defining a strategy specifically around HBCUs is critical to success. In fact, HBCUs is a federal designation under the Civil Rights Act, right? So this is about identifying students at schools that have historically produced leaders and bringing them into the economy. One of the things that I experienced in Morehouse and my time there, it was something that I look upon as the finest years of my life, is that really you go to that school to be bred as a leader. That's the focus. If you want to be a great warfighter, you go to the Service Academy. If you want to be a great physician, you go to Johns Hopkins. If you want to be a great tech leader, you go to Stanford or wherever. But if you really want to learn how to lead, Morehouse was a great school for me. And so I look at that school and my time there as really development in leadership, and not just leadership of people that look like me, but leadership of all people, because it creates an opportunity for you.
Did you feel like when you were getting your MBA and you were around a bunch of people who were basically in school to become leaders, you were a step ahead of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it was because of the experiences, the lived experiences that I had. Morehouse was part of that. But the human element, right? My background traditionally was engineering. I was an engineer, went to business school and fell into finance. And financial assets are what we covered for a long time. It's what you guys talk about in earnings. But the more complicated, and honestly, the more important asset is humans, right? Why do humans do what they do? How do they make decisions? How do they think about risk? And ultimately, everything else is a derivative of that. So being able to bring that experience to Duke, to the Fuqua School of Business, having some of that developed in Morehouse, having some of that developed by my parents. My father was a military officer. My mother was a school teacher. It's basically 18 years of a lesson in how to deal with people. I went to a Quaker school, how to deal with people peacefully, right? It really creates a pathway for you to think about how to solve big problems like what we're doing at Alt Finance.
So tell us then, if you're right now a student at an HBCU, how do you get involved with Alt Finance? Like, where is the connection, at what level of your studies, and is this going to help you also get an internship before a job? Like, how does the process work?
Yeah, so Alt Finance, number one, I would point everybody to our website, altfinance.com. That's ALFinance.com. There you can learn more about our program. So we have two programs that we run and really put our focus on today. One is our fellowship, which is a multi-year program focused on students at 8 of our partner HBCUs, Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse College, Spelman College, Howard University, North Carolina A&T, FAMU, Hampton University, and Morgan State. So
that was 8, I counted.
8, I got it.
You got them, yeah.
Got them. So we have 8 schools that we work with directly. Our program has quickly become one of the standout co-curricular programs at those schools. And so students apply to that. We just went for our 4th round, or our 4th cohort, and we have 57 incredible students from all 8 of those schools that are joining our platform. But if you're at one of the other 100 or 94 HBCUs that exist, or there are 104, so 96, I'm sorry, HBCUs that exist, we have a platform called the Alt Finance Institute, which we partnered with the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania to develop a co-curricular digital platform that gives students access to both non-academic and academic content, supporting their development in finance, investments, and alternative investments.
We should note that just last month, the first cohort of the program have started their full-time positions.
Yeah.
Apollo, Ares, Carlyle, Lazard, Oaktree, PCG, Deloitte, Goldman, Wells Fargo, among others. It's only been a few weeks.
Yeah.
But what's the feedback? What are you hearing?
So I think the thing that's most important and that makes me feel the greatest sense of purpose in what we've done is that students feel prepared. That when they are going through their training platforms, when they're getting on the desk, that they don't feel like they're stepping into an environment with which they're unfamiliar. Now, that's a privilege that many of us don't have, right? No matter what your background is. But for students that are incredibly gifted, that are coming from backgrounds that are incredibly prepared, being able to step into an environment and feel a greater sense of belonging, that you can be successful there, minimizes risk, maximizes the risk-adjusted return, and ultimately will lead to success.
And these are students that are in full-time positions and internships, both?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above.
Are you getting gender diversity? Because there's a challenge on Wall Street when it comes to the balance of men and women, and I'm wondering if you see that in private equity as well, outside of your program.
So that does exist outside of our program. There are fantastic organizations like Girls Who Invest. Incredible shout out to the work that they're doing. We actually have a few Girls Who Invest fellows also in our program.
Okay.
So it doesn't need to be competition amongst groups that are trying to increase the talent pool, right?
Intersectionality, as we say.
The intersectionality, Molly, great word. Thank you.
That's the one.
The intersectionality is really where the recipe for success can be multiplied, right? In terms of what Alt Finance is doing, and this is a byproduct of working with HBCUs where there is an over-representation of women and on HBCU campuses. Black women are one of the highest and fastest educated group of people in the United States, and so the fact that they show up on HBCU campuses is really a win-win. 45% of the women in our program, or 45% of the fellows in our program are women, which I would put that number up against any financial services firm.
I wouldn't think it's anywhere near 50-50.
Right, and so by working with an organization like Alt Finance, not only are you getting incredible diverse talent, but you're also making sure that you're getting well-trained women.
Totally, yeah. What do you hear specifically from the women then, as far as their feedback and coming into some of these workplace settings?
It's a challenge, right? I think that, number one, being a minority, but also being a gender minority or being a woman, not a gender minority in the grand scheme, because
on Wall Street,
in that setting for sure.
I think there are challenges, and a lot of those challenges are culture driven, right? And the firms aren't a monolith. Some firms have really, really strong inclusive cultures. I like to think that our partners, Ares, Oaktree, and Apollo, have incredibly inclusive cultures that have done very, very well and continue to do well in welcoming women into the workplace. But the industry in and of itself has had challenges.
Why do you think that you've been so successful when it comes to the gender balance with the fellows compared to the recruiting at some of these firms?
We're very intentional about it. I mean, if there is a pool and I see that we don't have what I believe is a representative number of women in the pool, we put more effort into recruiting really great women into our program, right? Then once you're in the program, we put a lot of effort into making sure that everybody has the shared time to grow and develop, right? That we don't let time, we try not to let people dominate time, right? We try not to let the natural inertia of a male-dominated industry filter its way into our program, right? We believe that our program is a position of growth for men and for women, for sophomores, for juniors and seniors, and that in order for us to maximize the total output of what we're trying to do, we have to make sure that we allow maximum opportunity for everybody that's involved.
Last 30 here for you, Marcus. So this marks year 4 of the initial 10-year commitment by those 3 founding firms. What are we looking at for the next 10 years? They sign up for more?
Look, I think they appreciate what we're doing, but the reality is the burden of what we're doing should not fall on 3 firms. There are thousands of firms that are doing this across the globe. We'd love to have global reach, but there are firms right here in New York City, right around this office, that would benefit from a partnership with Alt Finance.
And you'd accept that partnership?
Right away.
Very interesting. Are you getting incoming?
We are getting incoming. The proof is in the pudding, as one of our HBCU presidents said, and I thought I might get that tattooed on me, but he said, you've proven the concept, right? We've proven the thesis. We get a significant amount of inbound calls with people interested about how to, work with our fellows, but I think the reality is the return on investment is happening for the firms that made the commitment. We cannot do this for free, and so we want other firms to make the commitment as well.
And I imagine next time you're with us, we might have some more firms who have signed on. Marcus Shaw, President and CEO over at Alt Finance. Let's get a check on the latest world and national news. We got Amy Morris in the Bloomberg 99.1 newsroom in Washington, D.C. Hey, Amy.
Hi, Tim. New York City has been delayed indefinitely. New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
My team worked into the final hours to find a way to implement this because the goals of congestion pricing in terms of reducing traffic and pollution are important. But hard-working New Yorkers are getting hammered on costs. And they and the economic vitality of our city must be protected.
The tolling plan was set to begin June 30th and would have been the first in the U.S. House Republicans have issued criminal referrals against President Joe Biden's son and brother, accusing them of making false statements to Congress as part of a year-long impeachment inquiry. The Republican chairman of the House Oversight, Judiciary, and Ways and Means Committees sent a letter to the Justice Department recommending prosecution of Hunter Biden and James Biden. So far, GOP lawmakers have failed to uncover evidence directly implicating the president in any wrongdoing. U.S. veterans who stormed the beaches of Normandy are in France for the 80th anniversary of D-Day tomorrow. Ceremonies are planned to mark the 80th anniversary of the important turning point in World War II. President Biden will be among the world leaders to attend those ceremonies. He arrived in France today for a 4-day visit to include D-Day ceremonies, a meeting with France President Emmanuel Macron and Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned Germany that use of its weapons by Ukraine to strike targets in Russia would mark a dangerous step. Germany joined the United States recently in authorizing Ukraine to hit some targets on Russian soil with their weapons. Putin says that would, quote, completely ruin Russian-German relations. Global news 24 hours a day and whenever you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.
Bloomberg Radio brings you influential voices on the stories that matter. J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon.
Whatever the world is pricing in for a soft landing, I think it's probably half that.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
We do not wish to disengage from China economically.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella.
We now want to bring real competition when it comes to the AI age.
The names that matter on the news you need. Listen on Bloomberg 1130 or anytime on the Bloomberg Talks podcast.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Olajuwon Ajanaku and Earl Cooper want to revolutionize golf fashion.
A lot of other golf brands you'll see golf/leisure wear, where ours is golf/streetwear.
That was Olajuwon Ajanaku, co-founder of Eastside Golf. By bringing in some of the style and trends that he and co-founder Earl Cooper like, they're making golf more